this is part 47 from this book, Best of the West in Art, Music, Movies, and Books by me, Pete Rogers. We're talking about paintings from Chivalry. This is part 3 of the paintings from Chivalry. The first one here is called Godspeed by Edmund Leighton. He was a disciple of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood painters in England. Okay, he's a magnificent painter. I think he's actually the best of them. And he's got lots of paintings related to chivalry. This one called Godspeed. This is the one I put on the cover of my book about Dr. John McDougall, the greatest doctor who ever lived. And this reminds me of Dr. McDougall, and this reminds me of Mary. It just works. If you know him, you'll understand what I mean. But you get the whole thing. And it's also, the man's going off to fight. The woman's staying home and take care of the kids. Okay, that's how it is. But it's a beautiful painting. Okay, here it is, The Departure of the Knights by Edward Burne-Jones, another member of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood of Painters. And again, beautiful. And again, the men are going off to fight. The women are staying home to take care of the kids. And in your body, the knights are like your immune system. Here is In Time of Peril by Edmund Leighton. You have to get ready to flee. Sometimes you need to do that. Okay. Next painting is Pilgrimage to Canterbury Cathedral by Paul Hardy. And that's a little bit like the modern world. And beside every hospital in the Western world, there's this giant line of patients all going to the hospital. Okay, in the old days, they would travel to some religious shrine. And it would actually improve their health because they would go in springtime. They get some exercise, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, get some social companionship. And the Catholic Church invented capitalism, basically. They developed capitalism, okay? Rome did not, because Rome was more of a slave labor economy. Okay, here's a family on pilgrimage in the Roman countryside. A family that prays together stays together. Here's a painting of the coronation of Charlemagne by Raphael in 1515. So there was he was Carol the Great. It was the Carolingian Renaissance. Him and Alcuin really developed education in the United States, and he partnered with the Pope and sort of became the Holy Roman Empire. And it's like when I look back, my Montessori was like named after Alcuin. Okay, coronation of Charlemagne, Charles the Great. Carol was like Charles, the father of Europe, by the Pope in 799 A.D. Okay, and there it is, the Holy Roman Empire, a continuation of the Roman Empire. And then Alcuin was his scholar, and they dramatically improved the educational system in Europe. They took the wisdom of Athens and they added it to the wisdom of the Roman Catholic Church in Christ. The book How the Irish Saved Civilization by Thomas Cahill explains how the Irish monks preserved the great books of the ancient Greeks and Romans. And Christianity is very syncretic, meaning that it can soak up things from whatever it encounters and add it to its own way of doing things and just keep getting better and better if it's got good, noble masculinity. The other thing you're going to see is this noble masculinity that makes things better. Women make the home better, but whether or not society is going to be ruled by good men who promote opportunity and freedom or by bad men who take it away, it's going to depend on noble masculinity. Okay, ever since up until the 1960s with all the birth control, women would have 10 babies. Okay, they'd be real busy. They'd either be pregnant or nursing. Okay. Taking care of the little kids. I mean, that's just how it's always been since the beginning of time. And nowadays, we've had such an incredible feminization of society, and, masculinity is being crushed and destroyed and attacked and, disenfranchised and robbed of its money through divorce, robbed of its money through things like McKinsey Corporation, not allowing good men to get promoted or get hired or get trained. And what you're seeing is society's just turned upside down. Okay, look at the museums, modern art, they're all fake. Look at our universities, they're all fake, they're atheists, they stink, okay? This has really been the destruction of society. I've seen America go from being up here when I was a young kid, like in the 1970s. America was the best and everybody knew it and was proud of it. Whereas now America is, turning into a third world crap hole. And hopefully it's going to turn around, I'm hoping. There's some signs of hope, but it's still got a long way to go. Okay, this is El Cid, the Spanish knight, warrior, general, hero, and he is trying to get King Alfonso to swear on the Bible he had no part in the death of his brother. Painting by Marcos Heraldez. Okay, anyways, it's a great movie. I like the movie with Charlton Heston as El Cid and Sophia Loren. It's really good. I like all that King Arthur stuff. Oh, okay, here's a painting of A Girl Eating Oysters by Jan Steen. And man, this is like, that reminds me of my girlfriend in high school, back in the good old days. Back when you had no bills to pay, your parents paid all the bills. All you had to do was take a test in school, and then you were free to do whatever you want. Have a lot of free time back in the good old days. Jan Steen's a pretty good artist there. I think that might be the last one in this series of paintings for Chivalry. Yeah, from here on out, we're going to go enter a new chapter next. So, anyways, I hope you found those paintings good. Like I said, the 1800s is the greatest era of painting ever, better than the Renaissance even.